Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to use the chance to show you a little bit of my workflow when I program any new song to my keyboard, and we will focusing today on my master keyboard, which is the Roland Phantom. This video should anyway be valid for all the keyboarders, doesn't matter which brand you are playing. I try to keep it as basic as possible and not to deep dive into the Phantoms option, and I want to give you the overview what I'm doing in general. So let's check the display of the Phantom that you can see what's going on, and we are going to start. So when I boot up my keyboard, the very first program which is selected is actually called the master, which is created by myself. This is actually the master template I use to program any new song. And let's check in the details what is going on within this program. So actually you can see here 8 zones, which basically means 8 sounds or 8 parts. So I use this keyboard in the 8 sound configuration because then I am able to switch between the sounds without any interruption. So I know that the Phantom can also handle 16 sounds, but anyway I use it in this configuration due to this reason. So you can already see that zone or sound number 1, 7 and 8, they have some kind of an external marking here, and the reason for that, it is set up that zone number 1 is controlling actually the Dexibell sound module, which I use here down here in my rack. 7 and 8 or zone 7 and 8 are actually used to control my Nord lead. You may have seen my rig rundown where I explain which instruments are playing and in which configuration, so you may check out this video. I will give you a link up here, so you can switch to this video up front if you are interested. But going back to the screen here now, what I want to explain you have all these 8 zones, but you should not confuse it with a MIDI channel. Of course, the initial setup is done that zone 1 considers MIDI channel 1 and so on, but actually I have changed it because MIDI channel number 1 I'm using to send the program changes from my iPad to the master keyboard here, and the master keyboard will distribute it also to the synthesizer and to the piano module. So I don't want to interrupt this channel with any playing any note information to really keep it separated. That's why I have set the zone number 1 to MIDI channel number 3, as you can see here. And also the Dexibell sound module is configured to receive data on channel number 3. And let's check out the other 2 external channels, which are 7 and 8. So these channels controlling the synthesizer here on top, and actually channel number 8 is controlled to send the program changes to the synthesizer. And if I want to play any specific sounds out of the 4 slots this synthesizer provides, I need to use channel 7. I cannot run this on channel 8. This is due to the configuration of the synthesizer, has nothing to do with the master keyboard here. This is simply how the Nord synthesizers are working. They are a little bit complicated in MIDI configuration. That's what I don't like at these machines, but anyway, I figured out to work like this. So the global channel on the synthesizer is set to 8, and actually slot D, so slot number 4, is configured to receive data on MIDI channel number 7. So when I configure any area of the keys here to channel number 7, and I configure it to send it out, actually the Nord will play whatever is in program number D. And you can see I have the other zones, which goes from 2 to 6, set it up in the template as internal sounds. You may know that channel number 2 is used in the Roland Phantoms for the tone wheel organs, so you cannot set it up to any other channel. That's why it's always set to organ on the channel number 2, even in the template. And the other 3, 4, 5 and 6 are actually filled with empty sounds, and of course I can fill these slots with any sound I want to have from the Phantom. So let's go to check a little bit more in detail what is happening with the external zones, what I have set up here. So I have selected zone number 1, so let's go to the details. And if we check here for the external settings, which are down here, and in this option out PC, you can actually see that zone number 1 is active in my master template, and zone number 7 and 8 are not active because I do not use the synthesizer for all songs, so I have it set to be inactive in the master template. But it is as simple as clicking these buttons and they are active, and I think for your keyboard it's the very same. So you can see here on the zone number 1, I have set it to transmit on channel number 3, and you can also see the standard configuration is just 2 to zone 2, channel 3 to zone 3, and so on. And then I have set up the program changes here. They can be different to your keyboards or sound modules, of course. And actually it's considered to send the very first storage location in the Dexibell. So there is the grand piano, which I use for my basic piano sound. So it's selected all the time. I create something from the master template. And if I want to switch the sound in the Dexibell, I actually do not need to go down and press any button. I can just change the number here, for example, to number 4. So it's now recalling slot number 4. And whatever I set it up, the Dexibell, to play on slot number 4 will now be played. So actually this is upright piano. And it's as easy as this. Of course, you need to remember or check the display of the sound module when you switch the program changes here to select the correct sound. But now I can just play, and with the slider to the corresponding zone, I can change the volume. And it's actually integrated like it is an internal sound, which is really great. And the same is valid for 7 and 8, which are the controlling zones for the synthesizer. I do not have a program change in the master template because it differs if I use the performance mode or the sound mode on the Nord lead, so I keep that one open. And let's go to all the zones again. For the volume in my grand piano, means the Dexibell, I can also set it up in the scene here on the Phantom, and it will be saved within the scene in the Phantom. So once I recall any song which is using any sound from the external module, it also recalls the volume. So I do not need to save each and every grand piano volume level in the Dexibell and use a slot. It actually will be sent out by the master keyboard if you set it up. So, and let's go to the other zones, for example zone number 4. Let's activate it first and then choose a string sound, deactivate the piano, and of course I have my string sound. Just as you would expect. And the interesting thing, if I go now to zone number 3, I activate it, I deactivate zone number 4, I select whatever, for example a synth pad, and whatever this one. And even if I'm now on channel number 3, it is not set up to send any MIDI information to the Dexibell sound module. So actually you cannot hear any piano because it's not sending, even if it's on zone number 3, but it's not the same like MIDI channel number 3. And of course I can start to split my keyboard like I want and set up all my song which I want to program. And again, all this configuration is saved within this master template I'm using. So I'm sure every time I going to create a new song program anything, I will have set up the MIDI configuration to control all this stuff already configured. So I can directly start selecting the sounds, splitting the keyboard to its appropriate areas, and it's not using any time more, because it really feels like I'm using internal sounds even if I have the external setup. So I'm pretty sure you can do it with any keyboard. When we talk about a workstation-like keyboard, which could be the Montage, which could be the Kronos or the Nautilus from Korg or whatever. As I had already a Nord Stage, please consider the Nord Stage is not a workstation, it's a very, very advanced stage piano. So there you are a little bit limited with the external stuff you can control. That's actually also one of the reasons I switched to a workstation. And then create your master template and be much faster the next time programming any song. So if you like videos like this, you can also suggest me a song which I should program or show you how I program it. To not miss it, subscribe to the channel, I would be really happy. So see you the next time.